As a devoted fan of the beloved 90s sitcom Dynasty, I can't help but feel a mix of nostalgia and curiosity as I delve into the latest installment of that 90s show. That 90s show made the return of Michael Kelso and Jackie Burkhart in part three has certainly added a fresh layer to the story, but it's left me scratching my head with regard to one particular character, Betsy Kelso. Um, this article discusses plot points from episode 3 of that 90s show, which may spoil some aspects for you if you haven't watched it yet. After Betsy Kelso's return in part 3 of the series, a sequel to that 70s show, there are still unanswered questions about Michael's family background. In the pilot episode, we learned that returning characters Michael Kelso and Jackie Burkhart, Mila Kunis, have been divorced twice, are currently on their third marriage, and have a teenage son named Day Sote. Given that Kelso moved to Chicago with his daughter Betsy and her mother Brooke prior to the ending of that 70s show, his relationship with Jackie leaves many wondering what happened next. And despite the uncertain sequence of events spanning from two, Netflix's sitcom suggests that following the original series finale, Jackie and Kelso parted ways with Fez, rekindling their romance. They quickly tied the knot in Point Place, where they have resided for approximately 2 decades, raising their son, Jay Jennimer. The absence of Kelso's daughter, Betsy, raised concerns about her being written off prematurely. However, she was eventually introduced in part 3, clarifying her role within the Kelso and family. Nevertheless, this development left unanswered questions regarding Kelso's choice to depart from Chicago. That 90s show hasn't revealed why Kelso left Brooke and Betsy in Chicago. That 90s show hasn't confirmed the timeline of Kelso's return to Point Place. With Ashton Kutcher's character, Kelso, departed from the sitcom during season 7, and the show accounted for his absence by stating that he relocated to Chicago to be near his newborn daughter and her mother, Brooke. Since Kelso and Jackie had chosen not to reunite, it appeared as though he was dedicated to fostering a relationship with Brooke while they raised Betsy in Chicago. In the final episode of Kelso hinted at how well things were progressing with his new job, implying that he had recently been promoted Radar's all redesign pest. It's puzzling why Kelso, having found a contented life in Chicago with Betsy and Brooke, decided to abandon it so swiftly. And despite Jackie and Kelso's tumultuous history, their reunion wouldn't have been unexpected. But this time, he was settled in a new city, starting a new job, and raising his newborn daughter. Unless Jackie conceived Jay shortly after their reconciliation, it's hard to comprehend why Kelso would return so quickly to Point Place, leaving Betsy and Brooke. Betsy Kelso's That 90s Show return paves the way for Brooke to appear. Could Shannon Elizabeth reprise her role as Brooke on That 90s Show? In the event that Brooke Rockwell appears in season 4 of That 90s Show, some long-awaited answers might finally surface. While it's doubtful that Kelso and Jackie will reappear, Betsy's summer visits to Point Place could potentially bring Donna or another original character from that 70s show into contact with Brooke. It appears that Betsy regularly returns to Point Place during summers, but it remains undecided whether Brooke resides there permanently or if she continued living in Chicago. Given that Brooke was a librarian when last seen, it's plausible that she may be working in a similar capacity within Point Place during that 90s show.